Hello and welcome to the HONOO Revival live from Kyoto, Japan. I'm your host, Brick 9mm. And he's...
And I'm back from my illness, Xemyr LeBeau.
Yes, it's Xemyr LeBeau. And he came back just to see Wild Mike. That's right, Wild Mike.
The master of both pepperoni and submission hold.
Yes, pepperoni, submission holds, cheese, 4 cheeses in fact. And tonight he will be running wild against Midnight Jones.
And now I know you have very strong feelings on Midnight Jones, don't you, Brick?
Yes, Midnight Jones, that bastard with community chest. I mean, just look at him. He's a shameless sellout.
I'm not going to pretend to defend his actions on Afterburn, his attack on Victor Kai, but we've had this GP going on, and it just seems like the people on Afterburn have been relegated to the second show, and I can respect Midnight Jones for doing anything he can to make a name for himself.
Anything he can. Why can't he just be a good fighter like everyone else, like Wild Mike? See, Wild Mike is showing off those excellent holds of his, that front neck lock, the turkey wing. They call it the turkey wing. And what does Midnight Jones have besides money in his corner? See, Wild Mike with that back roll neck lock. There's more skill in that than anything I've ever seen from Midnight Jones.
Midnight Jones is by no means a finesse fighter, you're right, but he's a very strong boxer, and if you look at these punches, you can see just the brute force behind them.
And you can see the dollar signs behind them. You see, Wild Mike has that frozen pizza empire of his, but he built that up. He's a self-made man. Midnight Jones, he's a sellout.
Well, money buys the best personal trainers. Why do you think Mr. Monopoly is such a threat as a 70-year-old man?
In fact, Mr. Monopoly is responsible for us having a new referee tonight. Yes, that last referee was fired after they let that community chest Victor Kai beatdown go on.
Going into round 2, just calling the action, neither of these...
Midnight Jones, Jesus! Do it again!
An incredible kick to open round 2. And
Mike.
Yes, if Wild Mike can hit another couple of those, I don't think Midnight Jones has a chance.
Do it again, Mike! Mike with that excellent shoulder hold. But Jones!
Like I said, he has brutal punches, and just one of them can lay you out on the mat.
Wild Mike's kicks are equally as fierce.
That may be true, but Wild Mike just doesn't have the same knockout potential that Midnight Jones has here.
Were those headlock punches even legal? But Wild Mike, with another devastating jumping kick. Jones up at the 5 count.
It's a surprisingly equal contest so far.
Surprisingly, Wild Mike has a flawless record in HONOO thus far. But Midnight Jones.
Wild Mike has a great record, and he's great at coming back from beatdown, but he normally...
Jones is shooting to kill. Despicable.
Again, and again, Midnight Jones here on the GP show is going to stomp and show that he is here to make a name for himself.
Yes, money. That's the beginning and end of it. It's money. Midnight Jones. He has no passion. He's just this cold machine. A loaded gun. Mr. Monopoly's loaded gun. Welcome back to the HONOO revival in Kyoto as Tyson Apollo, the boxer, prepares to face Vanessa Saunders. Vanessa, the new member of the HONOO roster, debuting the last episode, HONOO Afterburn, against the legendary Wild Mike with a victory, adding to Wild Mike's perfect record.
And Vanessa Saunders was relatively impressive in that fight. It went 3 rounds, but she seemed to have the advantage for most of it. On the other hand, Tyson Apollo might have been the Cinderella story of this entire GP. Nobody gave him the time of day coming in, but he showed he could fight against the people in the finals and nearly took both of them out.
Yes, Tyson Apollo, a very impressive competitor, versus Vanessa Saunders, who has yet to really show us what she can do, but I am sure she will tonight.
Vanessa Saunders here in what seems to be the Bruce Lee-inspired yellow and black striped gear.
Already she sneaks in one of those excellent fierce low kicks. Will this kickboxer match skilled boxer Tyson Apollo blow for blow?
That's what it looks like early on in this fight, Brick. You see, Tyson Apollo, he's really good at slipping and dodging punches, and you've seen the couple of punches Vanessa Saunders has thrown have been blocked, or haven't had much of an effect. But he's a boxer, and he's not used to people kicking him in the leg.
Yes, when you're a boxer, you don't really train for a situation like that, but Tyson Apollo is showing resiliency even though he is susceptible to all of those leg kicks. In fact, it looks like Vanessa is getting the leg up on him, no pun intended.
I mean, early on, sure, but the two of them are trading blows here, and Tyson Apollo gets the better with a nice right hand
Tyson Apollo just popping her right in the face. This is a very equal matchup. Both fighters are of similar sizes, weights, heights, and skill in striking. But Tyson Apollo is sneaking in those strike rushes that just might make the difference.
Yeah, this whole first round has just been a full-on dirty brawl, and it's been really exciting to watch.
Yes, it's a slugfest. But can they keep that up going into round 2?
Well, it's all going to come down to who has the better stamina at this point, because you can't just keep throwing punches for, oh, and an impressive takedown from Tyson Apollo. You've got to remember that even though he's a boxer, he still knows at least the basics of double leg takedown,
and
which is something we don't see from other boxers.
The basics of pummeling Vanessa Saunders.
5, 6.
Saunders gets up at the 6 count. A deadly sweep kick there. That's gotta hurt. He's dazed.
Both of these competitors, they hit the mat and they're both down for a few seconds because they've just been going full force this entire match so far.
This is the kind of intense excitement you can only see in HONOO Pro Wrestling. As Tyson Apollo pops Vanessa in the face once more. Can she get up? She gets up at the 7 count. The deadly kick rush.
Tyson Apollo just back up though. He's showing that he can take these punches and just roll through them with a nice headbutt. But oh!
That headbutt, that was an act of desperation.
It was an act of desperation, and Vanessa didn't even flinch.
Vanessa is a killer.
Just kicks him in the face.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Apollo gets up at the 5 count. Both competitors are on thin ice.
This is just honestly incredible, a back and forth striking here. I can't actually tell who's got the advantage at this point.
But can this... No! That ends it! A super body blow! That was ruthless!
Just a punch to the a punch to the stomach and just knocks the wind and like the sails out of Vanessa Saunders. Incredible blow.
Was a loss, but not a loss out of shame, as she almost lasted 3 rounds with Tyson Apollo. Excellent performance for such a newcomer. Welcome back to the HONOO revival in Kyoto as Ricky Quick, the wrestler, gets ready to face Xemyr, the karateka. Ricky Quick was taken out by an assault by Midnight Jones, that scumbag, that coward, on the night that Midnight Jones announced that he was joining Community Chest. But now, Ricky Quick is back in one of these vital matchups, the show right before HONOO number 2, where Ricky Quick will be facing Lukas von Hahn.
It is really nice to see Ricky Quick back in what is probably his, I regret to say, tune-up match for Lukas von Hahn.
See, Lukas von Hahn has had a lot more time to prepare for the final match in their best of 3 series, since Midnight Jones took out Ricky Quick. Ricky Quick's performance here is absolutely crucial. Whereas for Xemyr, this match doesn't mean nearly as much, as evident by that excellent rolling shoulder hold.
I mean, you say that, but Xemyr so far in this GP has been shown to be a little bit of a joke, to be honest. He's lost a lot of his matches, and here against Ricky Quick, a relatively new threat to him, if he can come out and he can show that he should be taken seriously, it'll be real good for his chances in the future.
But does Xemyr's desire to be taken seriously equal that burning spirit, that spark inside Ricky Quick?
I mean,
potentially so.
I mean, you can definitely tell Xemyr's taking this seriously, because it's the first time we've seen him not in pajama pants.
Yes, he has a full gi. It's a good gi, I'd say. It actually fits him, unlike, say, Mason Marco's. Ricky Quick gets Xemyr down on the mat, but Xemyr with a quick counter, spinning leg lock.
Again, Ricky Quick's has got to press his advantage early here, because Xemyr's bigger, he's probably stronger, and he's definitely got a much better reach and a much better striking potential.
But Ricky Quick's fast. As you can see there with that jumping hold, it only lasted a moment, but it did damage. Of course, Xemyr's hold lasted substantially longer, even though it was less flashy. If he can keep that up, maybe Ricky Quick doesn't have much of a chance after all.
I mean, not to be detrimental to Ricky Quick here, but he did get assaulted by Midnight Jones just a couple weeks ago. There's a good chance that after a beatdown like that, he's not at 100%.
course, Ricky Quick's performance in this match shows that he may not just be at 100%, he's at 101%. Maybe Xemyr's just showing some of that hidden talent.
I mean, Xemyr's had a couple flashes of genuine talent here. It's just he's never been able to string a full match together out of it. And right now, he's coming pretty close to it.
Xemyr is now trying to match Ricky Quick on the mat. It's risky, but it just might pay off. Ricky Quick going for the arm once again.
You see, Ricky Quick went for that leg trip there. Not to chain anything off of it, because it's a very easy thing to get up from. But it dazed Xemyr just enough to let him lock in those two quick submission holds.
Quick is coming back here. He is hungry, that burning spirit inside of him, but Xemyr counters. Quick, the counter of his own, but Xemyr back down on the mat. With the butterfly necklock. Quick has to be fading right now. You're being a little defensive after that last display. Anyone would be defensive.
Yeah, that's what you have to do after you've been locked in such a brutal submission hold like that. You've got to get your wits about you and realize how hurt you are.
Xemyr mercilessly attacking Ricky Quick's neck. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that he made it to this third round. Maybe Xemyr's not so bad after all. Quick is matching Xemyr on the mat, but Xemyr says no. But Quick.
That's really been the story so far in this match. Is Quick's been doing a lot. Quick's been showing incredible transitions and work on the mat, but he just
Xemyr just defeated Quick. Xemyr's superior striking ability and his newfound talent on the mat just sealed the victory for Xemyr LeBay.
And that's got to be devastating for Ricky Quick going into this third match with Lukas von Hahn. They're split, and right now he has to double down and focus and maybe even hope Lukas loses his match later tonight.
Yes, Ricky Quick has a long, hard road ahead of him for HONOO number 2 next week when he faces Lukas von Hahn in the last match of their best of 3 series. Welcome back to the HONOO Revival in Kyoto. It is now time for the first of 2 finals matchups. Semifinals. HONOO GP semifinals. It is Ricky Backdrop versus Danny Thorpe. The winner is the winner of the B block and will face the man to win the main event tonight, which is Richard Richards versus Davey English. Now, it's wrestler versus hybrid fighter, just like the main event. However, Thorpe is a very different kind of hybrid fighter than Richard Richards. Whereas Backdrop is a very different kind of wrestler from Davey English, going for immediate suplexes. Will that strategy pay off for Ricky Backdrop tonight? The HONOO revival in Kyoto.
Oh, Ricky Backdrop using every single ounce of wile he has in his body, goes for the handshake to start the match and transitions it into an armbar.
Yes, Backdrop has a serious battle ahead of him, because that's Danny Thorpe. Meanwhile, Richie Backdrop with the support. Richie Backdrop is Ricky Backdrop's, he's his nephew or something, I don't know, I'm not paid enough to know. But he must think this is a professional wrestling match.
You know, given what Midnight Jones has done the other night, I wouldn't be surprised if Ricky Backdrop picked up that chair and used it. It'd be a huge fine, but he'd probably win the finals.
Yes, that disgraceful display by Midnight Jones. Jesus Christ!
Oh!
That belly to back!
You know, with suplexes like that, I don't think Backdrop's gonna need the chair. That was a brilliant suplex.
But Thorpe has to get aggressive here. Thorpe. Backdrop has brought his A game tonight, as he should, but Thorpe, that just makes him stronger.
Nice armbar there from Ricky Backdrop.
Thorpe with the excellent takedown.
These two are just going back and forth.
But Backdrop managing to land that suplex. That's the big difference maker when you're a wrestler. Danny Thorpe is being very defensive here, just stalling until the end of the first round.
I mean, after the first round, he gets a few seconds to recover, to clear his head, and to maybe put some ice on his neck after that big suplex. Looks
That
like
chair.
the referee got
Yes, that chair has been rightfully removed from the ring.
You see, we're paying our referees to make sure that people don't beat down our HONOO competitors anymore.
Yes. Thorpe is just working away on that ankle. Ricky Backdrop has chosen Thorpe's arms as his target. Meanwhile, Thorpe is focusing on Backdrop's ankles.
And you see, that's a great choice for Thorpe, because although a lot of the strength for a suplex comes from your core, to finish it off,
Jesus.
you need to...
This has to be the end. Thorpe, just Backdrop can't keep up with something like this.
Thorpe's just beating down Backdrop right in front of Richie. It's absolutely brutal.
Backdrop, a vital moment there, denied, but Backdrop is recovering. This match is not over yet. But it could be.
3,
After a kick like that, it very well might be.
6, 7, 8.
Backdrop up at the 8 count. But his days, his moments, his seconds are numbered.
Backdrop's gonna need just...
And that reverse leg lock has sealed Backdrop's fate as Thorpe advances to the HONOO GP Finals. Who will he
Another
face?
absolutely dominant performance from Danny Thorpe.
Will he face Richard Richards? Or will he fight Davey English? Welcome back to the HONOO revival in Kyoto. It is the Wall Jr. versus Lukas von Hahn. Hybrid fighter versus hybrid fighter. Now, Lukas von Hahn has been making big waves on HONOO Afterburn, even showing his skill in an excellent performance against Richard Richards, the man in the main event tonight. Will he similarly impress against the Wall Jr., the man who we thought was just poised to be a top prospect, but continuously failed to underdeliver?
Well, I don't know if it's so much that the Wall Jr. has under the list, that everyone else has stepped up their game, because the Wall is still a dominant force in HONOO Pro. It's just anytime anyone's been in the ring with him, they have given 110% and just barely squeaked out a win.
And as you see, the Wall has that intimidating air, his experience in boxing, but Lukas von Hahn with the quick, falling cross arm breaker. A signature move from Ricky Quick's repertoire. Yes, Lukas von Hahn is training for his match against Ricky Quick, as you may remember, at HONOO number 2. Thus, will Lukas von Hahn win this match, unlike Ricky Quick and his match?
I mean, if he can keep locking those arm bars in, it's a very good chance that he does. As we know, the Wall Jr. used to be a professional boxer, and still has that striking potential on with him.
Yes, but the Wall Jr. is slow. He is slow in every respect, slow to put the pressure on. However, if you take that many strikes to the face, as many strikes as the Wall Jr. is capable of dealing out, it doesn't matter how quickly he puts the pressure on, because you're going to be down.
The Wall's explosive. He starts out real slow. If he can get his momentum going, though, he can hit you with power bomb after power bomb.
But Lukas von Hahn with that excellent chicken wing. But the Wall! The Wall is fired up, but Lukas von Hahn sidesteps his potentially
he's
deadly
watched
attack.
He's watched the tape, he knows what the Wall does. The Wall dazes you with that Mongolian chop and then charges you.
Yes, that may be, perhaps, the Wall's biggest problem, because he has the strongest moves in HONOO, but they're all telegraphed. Of course, the difference maker there is when you're unconscious, it doesn't matter if they're telegraphed.
Again, Lukas von Hahn sidestepping that big spear or possibly tackle.
Yes, but the Wall is impressing here tonight. Lukas von Hahn. The Wall is a formidable competitor, and he could just land it! Spear just barely sidestepped.
That was an impressive dodge by Lukas von Hahn at the last possible second.
But the Wall...
The wall smells blood. He's going again.
The Wall's spear was dodged again! Lukas von Hahn! What an excellent fighter. Maybe one of HONOO Afterburn's best. The Wall floats over. No, that could have been the power bomb. But no, Lukas von Hahn.
Raining elbows down on the unprotected head of the Wall.
But the Wall fires
back.
back. The Wall! Just a devastating burning lariat. The Wall is showing what he does best. But Lukas von Hahn countered that could have been the power bomb. And a rolling leg lock.
Lukas von Hahn is just trying to tie the Wall up in knots here, working on the arms and the legs and every part of his body.
Yes, he has turned the pressure on. But the Wall locks in that cross arm breaker. I don't know if he can make it to round 2, Lukas von Hahn. Lukas, the flying cross arm breaker. The excitement in the air is electric. Going into round 3, it is the Wall Jr. versus Lukas von Hahn.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think if we had 20 more seconds in round 2, the Wall would have tapped to that arm breaker.
Or this rolling leg lock. See, Lukas von Hahn has been rattled by the Wall. His assault is unfocused. He's got to just take on that ankle. He has to snap that ankle in two. But the Wall looking for the rule of thirds.
Oh!
He finally
Spear from the Wall.
He finally hits the spear. Lukas von Hahn. But the Wall locks in that armbar. And he gets the tap on Lukas von Hahn.
The Wall, he picks his moment and he gets in that Kimura lock, and Lukas doesn't have any choice but to tap.
That was an absolutely phenomenal comeback for the Wall. He may not just be relegated to the lower card just yet. It is now time for our main event, Richard Richards versus Davey English. The A block HONOO GP finals, but before that, we would like to take a look at this exchange on Twitter that occurred between these two men. See, Richard Richards, he says he's just taunting Davey English. He just called him a coward. No wonder, since you call your suplex the chicken wing suplex, that just proves how much of a coward you are. Then he went on to further state that you thought you could bring your carny pro wrestling bullshit and your post-match attacks into my match. That isn't going to fly, and you're going to pay dearly. Finally, English responded with one sentence. The confidence of the man who could soon be champion. Truly, the heat is on tonight, leading into Davey English taking on Richard Richards. The A Block Finals. Richards defeated. Richards lost to Davey English. Will that happen again? Welcome back to the HONOO revival in Kyoto. This is now time for the most important matchup in HONOO history thus far. Richard Richards versus Davey English 2. The winner will win the A block and face Danny Thorpe for the HONOO World Heavyweight Championship.
You know, Richard Richards definitely lost this first competition against Davey English, but he seems, as you stated before, exceptionally fired up going into this fight. And we've seen if that's going to work for him or against him.
Richards is angry. He may have been an excellent fighter already, but this matchup just lit his spark, as you can see with that golden gear he is wearing. He intends on taking the gold. And Davey English is perhaps, in his mind, the only roadblock here. The only man who could prevent him from holding that HONOO World Heavyweight Championship.
I'm sure that's what both of these men are thinking with how heated their exchange was. But that said, Danny Thorpe, neither of these men have fought Danny Thorpe, and Danny Thorpe is a very impressive fighter.
With the way Richard Richards is, I think he might doubt someone like Danny Thorpe. Whereas this man right in front of him, Davey English, he was disgraced by Davey English before, the only man who prevented him from having a perfect record in the HONOO GP. This is personal. His pride just been damaged severely. And to face that man again 1 week after the first time.
You see, Davey English is getting some nice submission holds in here, but you can see Richard Richards fighting more defensively in the early goings of this match, which is maybe clever given his anger. He could be running out of the gate with wild strikes, but I think that would play into Davey English's hands.
Yes, both competitors know what their opponent can do at this stage of the game, so even if Richard Richards is being cautious and hasn't done much this first round, it's only a matter of time before he comes at Davey English like a runaway train. Because when Richard Richards puts the heat on, no one can withstand it. But Davey English, that rear naked joke.
Davey English showing impressive agility here, getting around Richard Richards and dodging his strikes.
Yes.
That said, he's trying for all of these takedowns, and that's going to. If he doesn't get some of these to hit, it's going to wear him out real quick.
Yes, he's managed these rear naked chokes, but he has failed to get Richard Richards down on the mat. Failed to strike him where it'll really count. Both men are still being a bit defensive. Because every time they collide, that could be the end as Richard Richards just pops right back up. They're that massive belly-to-belly suplex. But Davey English, with that dragon sleeper.
Just wrenching the neck of Richard Richards there.
Richard Richards with a rear naked choke. He is learning from his opponent. He is adapting. But, no! Davey English almost got a deadly suplex. Almost locked in a deadly suplex, but he can still lock in an equally deadly hold. But Richard Richards, he's withstanding the punishment.
Davey English had to protect his neck, and he's softening up that neck with these dragon sleepers.
And no! The hold that has destroyed 1,000 other men. Richard Richards, he might have fallen for good. But he was saved by the bell. Davey English has Richard Richards on the mat. This matchup could be in the palm of Davey English's hands. As he continues to put the pressure on.
See, Richard Richards needs to do
Blocked
something.
in the guillotine!
Oh.
He did it!
Oh.
Davey English! Lightning strikes twice as Davey English has destroyed Richard Richards on his way to the HONOO GP Finals. Davey English will face Danny Thorpe for the HONOO World Heavyweight Championship next week. Jeez, that match. That was insane.
It was exceptional. Richard Richards he threw everything he had at Davey English. He tried his hardest to stand up after every single blow, but it was just that guillotine choke was too much.
English is a tank. Thank you for watching the HONOO Revival in Kyoto. Next week, HONOO number 2. The Revival Chapter of King's Road. The HONOO World Heavyweight Champion will be determined. I'm Brick 9mm. He's...
Xemyr LaBelle.
Thank you and good night.